Hi, babe. Welcome to the Horror Babe Show. I'm your host, Chelsea Beller, and today we're going to talk about a film that has been deemed unwatchable, that people can't get past the first 10 minutes. We are covering Veronica. So I don't know if you've seen Veronica, but we're going to talk all about it. So if you don't know, Veronica is a 2017 Spanish horror/drama film. And I don't know if it was recently brought onto Netflix or if it just happened to be all over my social media the past 2 weeks. But it was. And people were saying they couldn't get past 10 minutes. They couldn't get past an hour. They could not finish this film, which of course meant I had to watch it because I love a challenge. And I love to be scared, obviously. That comes with the whole horror babe territory. I'm going to give you a brief overview and then I'll tell you how I feel about it. So Veronica, like I said, 2017 Spanish horror film centered around Veronica, obviously. Veronica is a 15-year-old living with her 3 very young siblings and her single working mom. The dad's been out of the picture for a while. I guess he passed away inexplicably. And so that means Veronica has to take care of her younger siblings, stretching her a little thin because she's also going to school. She's a good student. She's a good kid. She's obviously under a lot of stress, but she doesn't show her siblings that. She's really good with her siblings. Her mom could use a little work, though. I wasn't a huge fan of her mom. Her mom didn't show her any gratitude or grace whatsoever for helping her mother her own children. I know a lot of families are put in that position, and it's really horrible, but the eldest sibling is then robbed of a childhood. And that sucks. It just sucks. And it turns out Veronica and her teen friends all go to Catholic school together. A couple of her teen friends and her decide they're going to go down to the basement and bring a Ouija board. And can you see where this is coming? And summon someone to chat with. I don't know. It was first that one of the teens wanted to summon her dead boyfriend, but she didn't come prepared. So Veronica stepped in and was like, well, I want to talk to dad, so let's just do that. And they summon who they think is Veronica's dad. And then all hell breaks loose and possession things happen, and that's the film. Veronica leaves there a bit disoriented. I think they just say she fainted, but obviously other things transpired there. She goes home at night. Creepy things happen, obviously. This black, all black, kind of shiny, almost a leathery silhouette shadow figure appears and starts trying to come out of things, like with a hand coming out of the mattress or coming out of the mirror or what have you. Possession things ensue. And then it's up to Veronica to get rid of it somehow or figure out a way to live with it for the rest of her life, I guess. All of this, by the way, it happens over the course of 3 days. I believe it was 3 days. By the second or third day, Veronica decides she's going to go back down to the basement where it all began and see if she can figure out how to get rid of this thing. So she goes down to the basement of this creepy Catholic school. And who else is there but a nun who is blind? And she's just wandering around down there, She had her reasons, I'm sure. And the other students affectionately call her Sister Death. It's a little on the nose for me. She's blind. She's got this stoic, don't fuck with me vibe. kind of dig it, you know? And she warns Veronica, you have to take care of your siblings. You have to take care of them. You have to protect them from this thing that you summoned. And so Veronica rushes home and she's trying to take care of her siblings, but unfortunately, she incidentally ends up like strangling one of them one night and then freaking the others out another night. And the boy, the youngest, I think, he almost like he gets burned from like hot boiling water, and then he like almost drowns, or I don't know, crazy shit. And then, you know, she and this figure essentially come head to head, and she dies. Spoiler. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. But she dies. So, like, what kind of story is that? So let's take it back to the very beginning. The opening scene is a 911 call, and from the point of view of this detective. And there's text on the screen that says, this story is based on true events. And the detective, it's like based on his report from 1991. So it all takes place in 1991. Then the very last scene is you hear the 911 call again, or actually you're seeing it from the point of view of Veronica. She's the one making the 911 call. Then you see the detective come on the screen or come onto the scene, and then she dies. Turns out she dies on the way to the hospital. So you could imagine that I maybe didn't get through the film and read all of that on Wikipedia. But the truth is, I got through it. In fact, after 10 minutes, I clocked it, and I was like, okay, I'm fine. I haven't seen anything terribly disturbing yet. Give it another 10 minutes. Another 10 minutes go by. I'm still fine. I'm not running, screaming out of the room. And I got through the whole film. It was a good film. I enjoyed it. There were some stylistic choices that I wasn't a huge fan of. I can only assume that they were meant to disorient the audience, make you feel what Veronica's feeling. You know, she's feeling completely out of sorts. Because as it turns out, the creepy, shadowy black figure with the creepy claw hands was her. Big shock. It was her. What? No. Yes, because it's a story about possession. Shock to no one. I got through it. I'm not Stoic Joe about horror movies either. Like, I'm not sitting there with my arms crossed, you know, rolling my eyes going, okay. I mean, sometimes I do sit with the judgment, but a lot of the time I'm just open and I'm willing to accept what is coming my way. You know, if you and I ever watch a horror film together, and it's a new one I haven't seen, even one that I have seen and really enjoy and get thrills by still to this day, I will sit there, my eyes wide, pillow ready to cover my face, with the gasps and the shouts and the screams and the hey, don't go in there, all ready to come out, basically saying I'm not sitting there waiting to not be entertained or not be scared by a horror film. I'm very willing to go through the fear and thrill and the excitement of it all. That being said, I wasn't horrified by this film. I wasn't totally scared out of my wits. I wasn't running, screaming out of the room. I don't understand. I wish I did. I want someone to explain to me, but I really think the only thing that would make sense is it was a marketing scheme. Good job. You made me watch a movie, so good job. Good job to those marketers. You did great. I'm going to use that. I mean, it was like the same thing with Paranormal Activity. I mean, so many films have used like the night cam in the theater over the audience and they're, you know, we've all been there, so I get it. But beyond that, I enjoyed it, but I couldn't help but compare it to The Exorcist. Similar plot line, single woman, and her child, right? She was single, wasn't she? Reagan's mom? I'm pretty sure. Anyway, and Reagan is possessed because of a Ouija board, and she goes through all these crazy things. So I was trying to figure out, because I really enjoy The Exorcist, and that does give me the spooks. I was trying to figure out, what is it about The Exorcist that just gives you that, oh, God, you know? Like, what is it really? And I think it's because with Reagan, you're watching all of these horrible, terrifying things happen to Reagan. So you're put in her place. You're forced to be. And you're just going, what the hell would I do? What would I do if something like that was happening to me? And it's that thing of control. Like, that's really what really gets me about possession stories, because I enjoy control. I like having control over things, and possession is all about completely losing control over your body and your mind and your soul, and it belongs to this terrifying being that you don't know what it could do or what it's going to do next. So it's that unpredictability. It's horrifying, it's disgusting, it's something inside of you without your permission. That went a little far, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, so you're in it with Reagan, but in Veronica, it was happening externally. She was seeing this shadowy figure outside of herself. And so it was like, it's that tension. The tension isn't quite there because it's happening outside of her. Not to say that in order for a horror film to be a horror film, the, monster, creature, villain, antagonist has to be inside of you, has to be possessing you. But in comparison between these two possession stories, the one where it's happening to her, that's where I'm going to be like, oh, I'm terrified now. Also, the fact that the shadowy figure, whatever we're calling it, just wasn't really that scary. Like, it had the creepy claws, but it wasn't altogether that sinister. It was just kind of, I think maybe it was too humanoid, maybe. Anyway, The Exorcist, pea soup and all, will probably always be my favorite possession story. In my eyes, it's the original, it's the best one, it's the most effective, it's the most horrifying, it's the most disgusting, it's pea soup. That's all we ever aim for. If you don't know, just thinking, if you don't know what I'm talking about, they used pea soup for Reagan's vomit. Yeah, look up the trivia on that, because that's that movie has so much trivia and horrible things. It's what's known as a cursed film as well. So definitely find some time to do your research on that film, because there's a lot to uncover there. But anyway, yeah, Veronica, I think I gave it a 2.5 or a 3 on Letterboxd. So that was my quickie review on Veronica. Just a cute quickie, little comparison between that and The Exorcist, because that's always fun. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd so you can see what I'm watching, see what I'm rating. It's fun. It's exciting to me. Yeah. Follow me on Letterboxd. Also, I hope I'm saying that right. I always pronounce the D. Okay. Don't forget to like, comment, follow, and subscribe to the Horror Babe Show. Follow me on Instagram, Letterboxd, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever, man. Just do or don't. It's cool. But if you want to stay up to date on all things Horror Babe, I don't know. Maybe give me a follow, but I'm not forcing you. You can do whatever you want. You have control over your faculties, your body, mind, and soul. Bye, babe.